Hey guys, Scott from therecordingsolution.com. Today I want to clear up some issues on acoustic treatment. A lot of people when they're first starting out, they don't understand what you need, why you need it, where to put it. And honestly, if you go online, there's tons of forums and articles and different audio sites like mine that talk about it. So if you're following me, I want to teach you what I've learned from some of my mentors and throughout the years of running a home studio and things that work for me. And basically, without getting all scientific on you, you want to solve a few issues. One is called comb filtering, and basically what that means is if this is my studio, my listening spot. So I'm gonna get the direct sound from my speakers hitting my ears, but I'm also gonna get sound that bounces off that wall. Pretend there's no acoustic treatment back here. It's going to hit that wall, and that's also going to hit my ears. From this speaker, it's going to hit over on that wall and come back to my ears. Sound's going to go up above me, hit the ceiling. Behind me, come back. And this is a garage. A lot of us are recording and mixing in home studios that are in a bedroom or garages or sheds or basements, whatever. And these rooms are not built for recording and mixing. They're built for living and storage and whatever. So if you have 4 parallel walls that's untreated, highly reflective surfaces, and you have all those sound waves bouncing off those walls and hitting different walls and ceilings, they're gonna come and hit your ears at different times. And say, for instance, you're recording or mixing a snare drum, and it was recorded really fat. Then when you bring it into your room that's untreated, you'll have one wave coming off that wall hitting your ear, and one wave coming off the ceiling, and then the back wall. And what comb filtering and phase cancellation, you might hear that. One wave might be hitting you where there's peaks and valleys, kind of like a wave, like an ocean wave. So maybe one wave hits your ear where there's a peak, and the other one hits where there's a valley. And so you'll have one going up and one going down, instead of at the same peak at the same time, which would be the full tone of that snare. Well, if you have them opposite, one's going up, one's going down, you can actually cancel out the tone of your snare. And so you think your snare is not fat, and then you start compensating with plugins, EQ, compression, whatever, trying to make that snare fat, and then really you didn't really need to do anything to it except normal stuff. But that's one of the problems. A lot of times in small rooms, and in any rooms, bass builds up in the corners. So you want to put something in the corners to try to tame low-end frequency problems. And so I'll show you where I have my acoustic treatment in my room. But basically that's what you're trying to do. So people will argue that you don't need any treatment. And sometimes, a lot of times, some people can get very good mixes in a room that's untreated. So it's not impossible. But a lot of those guys have been doing this for a while. Their ears are trained. They know how to learn a room, meaning they know how to walk in a room. They could probably bring reference tracks that they're used to, that they know what it's supposed to sound like, and they'll play those tracks, and they'll adjust their ears and their mixes according to what they're hearing. But if you're not a seasoned guy or girl like that who knows how to do that, and even if you are seasoned and you're just intimidated, I'm kind of intimidated trying to do that. I need some help in my mind, and that's okay. So I like putting up at least some acoustic treatment. You don't have to go crazy. You don't have to spend thousands of dollars. But I think if you're starting out, and even if you're not starting out, it's beneficial to have some acoustic treatment. So let me show you around the studio, and I'll show you where I place it and the 2 different kinds that I use, okay? Okay guys, this is my mixing space. I put a lamp there because it's kind of dark in here. I need to add more lights. But if you see directly to the left, you'll see those acoustic panels right there. And then above my head, I have some acoustic panels on top and throughout the ceiling. It's kind of getting dark, sadly. And then to the right of my listening spot, I have more acoustic panels. And then if you see in the corner, I have some acoustic insulation stuffed in the corners to try to tame those bass frequencies that we talked about. And I have that also in that corner. And then, let me take this lamp over here. So behind me are those diffusers. So, and a couple of more acoustic panels on the wall, scattered throughout the wall. There's the door to the outside. I'm in a garage. And then the side again. So, that is my mixing room. So going through the door from my mixing room to my live room, which is just the other side of the garage, you'll see more acoustic panels there, along with some diffusers. I'll explain the difference between absorption and diffusion. And then that's the garage door. And I just stuck more acoustic insulation in the garage door. And if you see in the corners, you'll see more bass traps. And then on the side wall, absorption, diffusion. And then there's the glass looking into the mixing room. And that's it, guys. So, oh, also, I have more acoustic treatment on the ceiling, okay? So let me explain the difference between absorption and diffusion. So these are all DIY acoustic panels. Some of them are from when I originally built them, so they don't look as neat as the other ones, but they're just 2 foot by 4 foot frames of wood. And then I stuck some 3-inch rock wool safe and sound insulation from Lowe's, and it's just very thick sound absorbing material. And you want to absorb some of those frequencies that we're talking about and keep them from bouncing around the room. And then you have some diffusers, and they pretty much do the same thing, they just do it differently. So they're both trying to tame and stop all those weird frequency things we talked about earlier. And all these diffusers do is just break up the sound instead of absorbing it. So all I did is cut a bunch of different size pieces of wood and glued them onto another piece of wood. And yes, that did take a long time and a lot of work and a lot of cutting and a lot of gluing, and I wanted to go crazy. But we got them done and we hung them up on the wall, and I think they look pretty sweet. So I think you can get away with just some absorption. You don't need to do that and go to that extreme. But I literally have never bought acoustic treatment before. I've always made my own. I'm a DIYer, so I like getting down and dirty. But yeah, that's it, guys. Alright, I wanted to show you a cool little mirror trick to try to figure out where to place your panels to the left and right of you, of your listening position. So my speakers are right there. You can get a mirror and you put it on the wall, and you kind of just go along the wall until you can see the reflection of your speakers. Now, you're looking for either speaker. So whenever you see a speaker, it can be left or right. Well, if the mirror can see it, then the speaker can see it, and the sound's going to hit that spot. So just slide the mirror until you see where the speakers are. And so I'm getting I can see the speaker right around here, and then all the way through here, I'm picking it up. So I've placed 2 panels directly to the right of my listening position and to the left. And obviously I have a little gap right here, but I don't think it's super critical. But if you didn't have 2 panels, or you're running short on panels, you could literally turn one of these sideways. So it'll be 4 foot that way, and then you'll get that whole area. And I have the same thing on that side. And then I have, like I said, above me and directly behind me with those diffusers. So if you're just starting out, I think you at least need, to the side of you, maybe right behind your computer looking back at you, so your speakers or your sound's coming here, and you put some acoustic treatment right there above you and directly behind your head. Try to make this little bubble around you. At least start there when you're adding acoustic treatment, okay? I don't have any acoustic treatment right behind my computer. Looking, if I'm mixing like this, I don't have it right there behind my computer because I have that glass window so I can see my clients. But I probably should. But like I said, these rooms aren't perfect. They're never going to be perfect. Even with all the acoustic treatment you see in here that I've showed you, it still has some audio issues. The point is we're trying to tame these things and get it to where we can actually create good recordings and good mixes and at least help out the room that we're given. So I hope I have explained this well enough for you to understand. I know I'm not the most scientifically gifted at explaining things, but I hope you got the basics, get you started. You can go to sites like rlx.com or sweetwater.com, and you can search different acoustic packages if you're not a hands-on cutting wood and gluing stuff and putting burlap on stuff and spending days doing that. I enjoy that. But if you just want to spend a little money, it can get pricey, so be careful. But you can get like certain room packages that are kind of affordable, a few $100. But I think it's worth it. So go to those sites and see what you can afford, see what you can get, and get started, guys. So that's it. We'll see you next time.